Well, hello everybody. Good Friday to you. Yvonne Miles here with Vibrantly Living You. And I was so hoping that I could join you live today, but for some reason, Facebook wasn't letting me do that. So I recorded this quick video to share with you because I've got some great information to share. It is a beautiful day in Houston, and I can't wait to get out into it. But this was really important, so I wanted to make sure that I got this information to you. First, I'd like to focus on eating habits and what's going on with our eating these days, with your eating, sometimes with my eating. Let's face it, we are a nation under stress. Everybody I talk to is stressed out in some way or another. And it could be for a lot of reasons, like, oh, what do we have right around the corner? Oh yeah, it's that election. The election is stressing people out. The pandemic is stressing people out. If you're at home with your kids and you're having to homeschool and balance work and family, that's probably stressing you out. And on top of all of that, well, tomorrow is Halloween, and I think these days Halloween is beginning to mark the beginning of the holiday season. And we all know what happens during the holidays, right? We stress eat. So today is all about taking a look at that tendency, taking a look at that habit of stress eating and what it is that you're eating. The first thing I want to say though is that it's normal. It's the body's normal response. A body under stress craves food. It craves comfort. Why is that? That's because of those stress hormones that stress releases in our bodies, adrenaline and cortisol. And this is preparing us for that fight or flight response. And so naturally, the body is saying, I want energy. I want a quick source of energy to be able to handle whatever that stressor is. The dilemma that we face is that we're constantly under this stress, this anxiety. Maybe you're not sleeping on top of all of this, and so that's just adding to the inability to really meet these moments that are in front of us. So your body is under constant stress, under this constant fight or flight dilemma, and so naturally you're going to turn to quick energy foods. So that could be lots of processed foods. It could be sugary foods. It could be those comfort foods that give us that sense of groundedness. And yeah, so sometimes that works against us if that's all that we're consuming. We can also throw alcohol into that mix too. I know that that's been a big go-to for a lot of people, and that I'll include myself in that with this with the ongoing pandemic. Without a doubt, 2020 has been the year. It's been the impossible year. It's just been the impossible year. So I want to give you a new way to think about that. And I call it the Teeter-Totter solution. And it's based on the Teeter-Totter dilemma. What's the Teeter-Totter dilemma? Funny you should ask. I actually made a little drawing. Imagine a teeter-totter. Not too hard to imagine, I know. Probably I need to go to art school here. But on this teeter-totter, imagine that this represents the continuum of what we eat. So on the one side of the teeter-totter, imagine you have all of those go-to foods, especially when you're under lots of stress. And so that could be the pastas eating lots of animal protein, the desserts, the breads, the processed foods. So that's on one side of the teeter-totter, possibly weighing us down, right? And maybe not making us feel all that great. And then on the other side of the teeter-totter, so we're gonna think in terms of extremes here. So on the extreme side are, let's just say it's just vegetables. So you've got all the other foods down here that we talk about a lot out of balance, and then we've got the vegetables. And I know this is not a really good drawing of broccoli, but you'll have to imagine that. So what I imagine here with this teeter-totter dilemma is that oftentimes we run from one end to the other, back and forth, one end to the other, or we're not satisfied with one thing. And so what does that cause? If you're down here, weighted down, and then you run to the other side, then yeah, you're just running to another extreme, back and forth. So that's the teeter-totter analogy. But what we really want to do, or what is best for your body, is to find that place in the middle, the place in the middle where maybe there's a little less of the animal protein, just a little bit less, and a few more vegetables, a little less of the processed foods, and a little less of the added sugars, a little less of those quick acting carbohydrates. And then what happens then slowly, as you begin to inch your way toward the middle zone, the balance zone, then you begin to balance out those cravings. You begin to balance out those habits. And what's good about doing that is that the more time that you spend in this balance, in this nice little area of equilibrium, then whenever you do end up back out at one of the extremes, then it becomes that much easier to return back to that equilibrium, back to that balance zone. Your body has so much to teach you about where to be, what it actually really wants, once we get out of the way and begin to listen and tap into our own body's wisdom. So we can get away from the teeter-totter dilemma of always being out of balance, always craving. The craving is a desire to change your internal state and get it back to just that nice level of balanced energy and no cravings. Can you imagine that? I certainly can. It's a good feeling to not be under the control of a craving. So what can you do in this time of just craziness and anxiety? Maybe turn to the foods that do provide the comfort, but find them from deep, rich vegetable curries and stews and soups. I list several suggestions of these in my Vibrantly Living You recipe collection, which was part of the bundle, the Leap into Vitality series that we talked about last week. Certainly, if you're interested in knowing more about that, contact me and I'll give you the information on that. But certainly, finding those kinds of foods to dive into, especially now that the weather is beginning to cool down a little bit for some of us, and so it's bringing on that sense of fall and warmth and that turning inward. Those are really good kinds of foods to have around. Another really positive outcome of staying in that balance zone and seeking those kinds of foods that do give us substance and groundedness is just the act of being in the kitchen and preparing them. That allows you to open up into mindfulness, a mindful practice of being really present with the food that you're bringing to the table, bringing to your family, or bringing simply to yourself to provide that nourishment. And that's a really, really good place to be. So then, as you begin to empower yourself toward this more balanced nutrition, you're going to start to feel better. You're going to start to find that you're getting a handle on that stress and anxiety. It's not controlling you, you're controlling it. That sense of empowerment. I know, if I'm talking about a craving, I think I crave that. And I offer that to you as something to crave, that sense of empowerment, that natural power that naturally resides within you, and you can bring it forth. And that's why I'm also really excited to tell you about my friend Deanna Deacon, who has recently released a book into the world, and it is called The Feminine Warrior. And she is going to have a book launch. She is an author, a speaker, she is an intuitive life coach, and she is all about helping people tap into their deep well of wisdom through the pathway of intuition. I am so excited to learn this new skill from her. I don't necessarily think of myself as an intuitive person, and yet I know that my life has been enriched through intuitive practices. So I'm ready to dive in and learn more. So she's going to have a book launch party a week from today, next Friday, starting at, let's see, I think it's 7 p.m. Pacific time, so that's going to be 9 p.m. Central time. There will be dancing and drumming, meditation, readings, a way to connect people around the globe, to raise the vibration and the energy, to be able to receive this book called The Feminine Warrior. And we're invited. We're invited. I would love for you to come along with me. Be my +1. Be my +20. It will be fantastic. I can't wait to be there and to share in her work with you. We all need to feel that sense of empowerment, whether it's by conquering our cravings or by tuning in to our natural wisdom and intuition. So let's do that. Let's do it together. Okay, so we're coming to a close here for my Friday Today Not So Live series, but we'll pretend that this is live. Quick recap. We covered how to get past those cravings and create a new habit. We called it the Teeter-Totter solution, the Teeter-Totter dilemma, the Teeter-Totter solution, because we want to stay in that balance zone by seeking out more vegetables and animal or plant-based proteins as much as possible, as well as grains and fruits and vegetables. So we want to stay in that balance zone and get away from the extremes of the teeter-totter. And we also talked about a wonderful opportunity to join in a book launch party next week. Continue to look for details here on this page. I'm going to be posting a link with information so that you can sign up. You need to sign up in advance for the book launch party. That information will be on the page. Invite your friends. The last thing I want to say is remember that we are approaching the end of daylight savings time in the United States. Therefore, you get to turn your clock back and get 1 extra hour of sleep. Yes, I think the official time is 2 p.m. on Sunday night. I usually do it before I go to bed on Saturday. Did I say Sunday? It's 2 p.m. Saturday. I usually do it before I go to bed. It's 2 a.m. Saturday morning, which, yes. Oh, see, that's why I do it before I go to bed on Saturday night, so that when I wake up in the morning, my time, I'm in the right time zone. So enjoy that falling back into the natural rhythm of your body and of nature. And I'll see you next week for next week's Friday Live and for the Deanna Deacon book launch party in the evening. Until then, just remember, that a vibrant life is yours for the taking. See ya.